Travis Wayne Goodsell. I wasn't planning on doing any more videos today, but as I was typing in my journal vlog video that I made just recently, I realized we have a special date today. Special date. It is in Gematria Hebrew Chiasmus. The date is December, which is 12, 2nd, 02, 2021. So 12/02/2021. Chiasmus, Hebrew, Gematria. If you're unfamiliar with Jewish mysticism, because you've not been watching my videos on the origin of church history, Gematria comes from the book of Revelation, in which is said that the number of the beast is 666. And in 600 CE, the alphabet Ben Sira was written and published. And Jewish mysticism was born. So yeah, it's not the original Hebrew. It was added later on during the Dark Ages. And so because we're in the thousands, it's kind of difficult to do Gematria with consistency. You sort of get leniency here. And so what the options are is Tau is the number 400, even though it's the 22nd letter of the script. It's because the way it's done is you start Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Daleth as 1, 2, 3, 4, and then when you get to Yod, which is 10, Kaf then becomes 20, Lamed 30, Mem 40. And then when you get to 100, which I believe is the Omicron for Greek, which, yes, Omicron. It's been in my videos lately, hasn't it? Been on the news lately, hasn't it? Let's verify though. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Nope. It's 70. 80, 90, 100. Okay, that's the Ankh scepter for Paleo-Hebrew. The Kof. And yes, I don't know why they have the same similar phoneme. It's because they screwed it up from the original Paleo-Hebrew. I'm not going to get into that. So yeah, in order to reach 2000, for example, it would be 5 taus. 3-letter words. So already something's screwed up. So we'd have to split it to 20 and 21 and 12 and 2. And so what we have is Kaka, over here, look at here. You remember that, was that Three Amigos? Can't remember. I think it was Three Amigos, where he's on the roof trying to get their attention. Kokab, you might recognize as Stars in the Heaven. This is Kaka. And so I'd have to go over the Paleo-Hebrew with you for that, because really isn't, but it is close to Kokab, which is star in Hebrew. And so 1202 would be Yabib. Babel comes from that. Babylon and Tower of Babel, which was not in Babylon, it was in Lebanon. But if we were to just go by the number count of 22, it would, the 12 and the 2 is the word for heart, the lab. And so 20 and 21, I already did that. But if I did, actually, it would be different. It'd be Resh, head. Yeah, cool. 20th letter is the R, and the 21st letter is the Shin or Sin. The phonemes are given liberties depending on which language you're using. And so, yeah, Resh. Huh. The A is missing from it, but and be the god of the water. Nun would be that for the Paleo-Hebrew. It could also be nut, but Shu and Tefnut. Tefnut is the moisture that watered the ground so that Shu could then breathe into the life of Adam in Genesis chapter 2. That's the Egyptian that he's referring to. So, enough of that. Let's get on to other Hebrew chiasmus. A comparison of the Book of Mormon and the late war between the United States and Great Britain. First published January 11th, 2014, last edited March 9th, 2014. It's on wordtree.org/the-late-war/. And it's not secure, so get your copy and paste onto a Word before it's too late. I should already have mine. But he really studied his Book of Mormon. Good job, guy, whoever you are. Let's see. However, again, I did the video this morning with the inserted clip at the beginning of it to introduce the video. This is yet another example. Joseph had nothing to do with the composition of the Book of Mormon. So as much as he is concluding with a speculation, as he says, Joseph most likely, you don't know, don't even go there. Just say, hey, Book of Mormon says this, Late War says this, in the columns that you provided. Don't give us your conclusion. That's what the Tanners did, and they were wrong too. Just give us the facts. That the Book of Mormon is connected with the Late War. Then listen to me, and I will tell you what really happened. And now you guys don't believe me. And I'd have to do a whole video, because then you'd have to find the videos where I talk about it. The facts. We'll just stick with the facts. Joseph Smith Sr. was in the New Israelites learned Jewish mysticism, thus Gematria with today's date, among other things like the Tree of Life. thus his dreams of the Tree of Life, which are in the 116 rewritten pages. But that alone, I'm not going to be guilty of what I am accusing. I kept going to confirm. He's also a Master Mason of the York Rites Lodge in Canandaigua in 2008, or 1818, in 1818, which is a significant date in Hebrew gematria, with the meaning behind the number 18, because it's 4 nines. 9 is for salvation. Nonetheless, I digress. And so, while in Canandaigua as the Master Mason, around 1823, because Joseph Smith says that's when Moroni, which he actually called Nephi, came to visit him for 21 September into 22 September, which was the continuing date for 4 years. I just broke new information for you right here, just now. I did it again, further confirmation. But William Morgan came to Western New York, and he lives in Batavia. That's where he got the Batavian Press to fund upfront the money for the publication of 2 books, and yet he's arrested in Canandaigua. What's he doing in Canandaigua? They searched his house after he disappeared. Can't find the manuscripts. They're gone. What had he been doing for the 3 years working on these books? And nothing to show for it after he disappears. What happened to them? What happened to those 116? I mean, yeah, what is he doing in Canandaigua? Because he was arrested for not paying a bar tab the second time around in Canandaigua on 9/11 of 1826. 9/11, huh? And Masons are the ones who help him flee the country. Batavia is York Rites also. What is the one person that not even ex-Mormon historians have discovered yet? I did. I've been telling you. Yeah, Smith Sr., as the Master Mason, took on the responsibility to finish the book, to get it published, and rescued William Morgan to get him out of the country. And in the process, we know he already knew of Sidney Rigdon. And so where does Joseph go with Martin Harris to start, and is able to get 116 pages? It's Harmony, but are we sure it's Susquehanna River? Because it wasn't Harmony anymore. The name had changed. Because the post office came to the state of Pennsylvania and said, no, we're not having 2 Pennsylvanias, or 2 Harmonies in Pennsylvania. One. Susquehanna changed theirs for the Postal Service. And so Harmony, north of Pittsburgh, where Sidney Rigdon had been in Pittsburgh and in the township right next to Harmony, during the time Joseph would have been there, according to his history, and then would have gone over to Ohio to further distance himself, but it's still on the path trail, as Joseph Jr. is now in between Sidney Rigdon and the farm with Senior. See how clever they were? But they got exposed and caught. And I went over with you that it was Heber C. Kimball who caught them. Because he doesn't mention that he knew Joseph Smith Sr. Why not? You said you saw him, you sent your petition to him, and he approved it, and you don't know him? You don't mention him by name? Why not? That would have been faith promoting for the church history books as they currently write them. Why not? What's going on? And so, as we go over this, we see that a lot of this is in Sidney Rigdon's territory of where he is found in the Book of Mormon. The linguistic connections. And so, Alma chapter 10, verse 6, the 4th day of the 7th month, which is the birthday of Columbian liberty and independence. In the Book of Mormon, in that passage, the 4th day of this 7th month, which is in the 10th year of the reign of the judges. And so that in and of itself, that's just the way they worded things. But again, you'll see this is huge, the number of comparisons. So that just that alone, yeah. Keep quiet, apologists. Because here we go, near Moravian town, and it came to pass the army were under a chief warrior whom they called Tecumseh, smote their chief warrior Tecumseh, and slew him, and he fell to the earth. So Alma 50, verses 33 and 35, and then Alma 62, 36 to 37. People of Morianton, and it came to pass, the army was led by a man whose name was Teancum. They did pursue Teancum and slew him, and he was dead and had gone all the way of the earth. So that's quite detailed of a connection. But you see, Sidney Rigdon is not exactly plagiarizing. He's using the late war as a template to tell the Book of Mormon version, which I've gone over with you, is coded communication. This needs to be decoded. And the late war, what is in the latter days? The late days? A war. And so it's I just gave you the decoding key. Now you're going to want me to decode it for you. I give you the key and you just say, I don't want to use it. You give me the answers. You see, it's the late war between the United States and Great Britain. And it's a scriptural style. The Queen's English from the King James Version account of the War of 1812. Remember when we had that insurrection at the Capitol in D.C.? Remember what the news was talking about? The Capitol has never been breached, not even in the War of 1812. This is why I'm doing the video for you guys today. So, I'm going to keep this up, and I'll put this link in the description below. Otherwise, I'd be spending all day going over it. It's long. The little thing on the upper right slide is small. You have to scroll down much because of all the connections with this book. And so now I've done it again for you, giving you exclusive breaking news about why the War of 1812 is found in the Book of Mormon. Dear God. See, I didn't know this going in. I was just going to do one on, oh, isn't it fun, Hebrew Gematria Chiasmus. Because there's Hebrew Chiasmus in the late war as well. And it ended up being a bombshell video yet again. Dauntless courage, valiant for courage. Yeah, he even color codes it for you, so that you can see which one's which. It's a school book, A Late War by Gilbert J. Hunt, and it heavily influenced his writing of the Book of Mormon. No, not Joseph. No, Sidney Rigdon. Sidney was the collector of books. That's why he hung out in Pittsburgh at the print press there, is when they had books that were just out for print, he was right there to get them. A computer guy who had a program to check for linguistic patterns found that Sidney Rigdon really liked a particular female author contemporary in that time. The Book of Mormon contains 2 or 3 of hers. I'd have to find the video and then watch it. I think it's an hour or so or something like that. So it'd be tough finding the place if I can find the video. But yeah, I'm already at 23 minutes. So just sharing that with you. There's lots going on. And so when Joseph blew it with the 116 pages, we'll just end with this. That's why Smith Sr. Worked with the in-laws, because he can't go back to Harmony, where the Methodists of Emma's family are a part of. Because again, the separate segment, when he loses the 116 pages, he goes to the Methodists because he lost their firstborn son and dies. And so they're going to seek consolation from the Methodists because that's her church, her family's church. And they find out that he had been arrested for glass looking on March 20th, 1826. And so, yeah, he sort of burnt the bridge there. And Senior knew that Harmony had been changed by Susquehanna, so he sent the in-laws and Joseph down there, and they had the in-laws sign, the father-in-law, have a contract for Joseph to buy a house down there. You're supposed to be publishing the Book of Mormon. You just lost your resource money for the Book of Mormon with Martin Harris, and you're buying a house instead of saving the money for a publication for which you didn't make any money digging for silver with your rock and a hat, because the nephew of Josiah Stowell sued you in 20th of March 1826 for not getting any silver. So how were you getting paid? You were staying with the Hales, Emma Hale, And they were taking care of you while you were trying to work, not finding anything. So what money were you paying for this house with at a place that's no longer called Harmony? Yeah, to get him out of the way. And so what does he do after buying the house? Well, he then goes to the Whitmer home where Oliver shows up. Oliver is the person who was helping Sidney Rigdon as he was helping William Morgan previously in writing the book. And then Oliver was supposed to be the messenger between the two places, but Joseph blew it, and so now Oliver is now the babysitter, while Sidney and Senior take care of the rest. And then most likely William Cowdery was also involved, because he knew about all that too, because he was in the New Israelites with Senior in Vermont. That's why the rod of Aaron of Oliver Cowdery's had to be the gift of God in the Doctrine and Covenants, when the church decoded only a partial. So yeah, fun stuff. And dear God, now you understand why there's war stories in the Book of Mormon. They were actually supposed to help us, but you guys instead went there to overthrow America. You were just lucky I saved you on the 22nd, because it got postponed. Whether this now means something's coming, I don't know. I hope not, per se. The leaders in both the House and the Senate have agreed to not shut down the government, but again, kick it down the road until February 18th. But the vote has not occurred yet. There are still Republicans in the Senate. Mike Lee, the descendant of John D. Lee of the Mountain Meadows Massacre on 9/11. Who is now fighting for the rights of Americans not to wear a mask with Omicron coming, with one case already announced yesterday in the United States. And he also got exposed with Trump yesterday because he got coronavirus at that big event with the latest justice who's going to overthrow Roe v. Wade. That's now being decided in the Supreme Court, as they all got coronavirus. And sure enough, I was doing the videos. Why didn't Trump get coronavirus? He should have gotten coronavirus. Why didn't he get it and everybody else did? Something's weird. I'm not comfortable. Something's wrong. And then he comes out with it later, and I'm like, huh? Well, now we know he did get it, and he then showed up to the election, or the what's it called? Or the debate. As they were concerned, Trump, have you been tested? I'm fine. So yeah, he showed up to the debate. That's the breaking news yesterday. And so yeah, all this. Right here in the Book of Mormon, we were warned. I've been warning you, and you blew it. Because you think the Book of Mormon's true in another way. God. So yeah, we have until midnight. You know, the House is going to vote on it today, most likely. And then it goes to the Senate, where we already know Mitt Romney is not comfortable with the I don't know about Romney's position. He flip-flops as to his loyalty to America. But Lee, no, he ain't going to vote for it. It's already clear. So, we're all doomed. But remember, there's the halfway mark. The solar eclipse Saturday. Got to throw that in before I leave. Just saying. Pattern. Tetrad. Remember the Tetrad in 2014, 2015, and what happened to the church? Pattern. 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 And so interestingly, in 2014, 2015, the 3 deaths began after the 3rd one. And I showed in the video how it is a mirrored, even flip-flopping pattern for this one. That Saturday is the Jewish holy day, the 5th dark day of Hanukkah, whereas the 20th in March 2015 solar eclipse was not on a Jewish holy day, but the tetrad moons were on holy days in 2014, 2015, but the tetrad moons this time are not on Jewish holy days. And here we have a Hebrew, Jewish mystical, chiasmus, gematria thing. Isn't that great? So, if 1202 is instead lab for heart, are we being weighed in our hearts on this day? I, after finishing it, almost saved the whole video for uploading on YouTube. I then went, oh yeah, I should check the Stellarium to see if there's anything in Libra being judged right now. Oh my God, it's Mars! It's Nelson, Russell M. Nelson. And the reason why it's Nelson is because we go back to when Monson died that evening. It was during the Revelation 12 sign of the stars falling from the tail of the dragon, which was quadranted meteor showers at the tail of Draco the dragon. And Mars was now at the top of the scales of Libra. He was now the judge. Transfer of authority in the church from Monson to Nelson. Mars is Nelson. I've followed Mars all this time because, again, I don't just stick with one and conclude, oh yay. No, I confirm. I keep testing. And yes, it's Nelson. Mars is Nelson. And so now Mars is in the scales of judgment, being judged as the moon. It's fallen a little bit over the hours, but yeah, it's at the top. It's being judged. The moon for religion, the left eye of Horus, the Egyptian restoring Peter. And again, all my videos go over all this. I wasn't going to do a video today, but ended up breaking news for you. I'll see if I can get a picture with the other things up. It's gonna be tough. We'll see.